Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully, you're all having a fantastic day today so far. I've been gone. I've been on vacation. I went back to the UK, went back to see family, and it was a great time. Crashed a boat, a narrow boat, canal boat. I'll talk about that another time. We don't need to discuss that, do we, here? I just had a good time, really. It's nice to see family and catch up, and I'm back. I got sick. I always seem to bloody get sick when I travel. But this one, I think it happened because like 2 days before I was scheduled to fly back, I started getting a sore throat. And you know that's always the beginning. You get a sore throat and then it gets worse. I took a COVID test. As soon as I got back, I took one when I was there too, but they were both negative. So, I don't know what it was. I think it was just a typical cold or something. Why am I blurry? All the time, every time. Am I not going to be blurry today? Come on, you stupid thing. There we go. But there's so much to catch up on. I've seen some videos in Gilded of you guys having a great time. A grand old time. A jolly time. And, yeah, it looks like I'm missing out on a few things. So I thought the best way for me to get back into this is to catch up with Inside Star Citizen. So I'm going to watch the last two because I haven't seen them. And we'll see what's crack-a-lacking. In the first one is Star Kart Racing, which I'm very excited for. And let's see what it's all about. I haven't seen any information. I really have been off media, social media, everything, because I didn't turn data roaming on my phone when I go away, well, when I go to the UK. Because the plan I have doesn't cover, like, international travel, or you have to pay for it daily or something. I'm like, you know what, I'm on vacation, I'm not going to do anything. Just spend some time with the family. So I didn't have data roaming or anything on my phone, so I really wasn't on my phone. So I haven't really seen much at all. But I am feeling better now. I still have a little bit of a cold, or not a cold, a cough. But other than that, it's great. I've lost my tan. Everyone was talking about the UK, about how hot it is. It was hot. But it's a country that's not built for heat. So inside was just hot and clammy. No air conditioning. Outside it's very clammy. Because obviously it rains a lot. And it did rain a lot. But it was also hot. So it was very humid. But it wasn't like the normal humidity I'm used to. It was very clammy. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's hot. It's hot. It's hot there, but it's also, everyone's like, oh, you're not used to this. I'm like, bruh, I live in California. So right now in Fahrenheit, it's 90 degrees here, California, where I am today. And where I was is going to be 92. So technically, it's hotter in the UK there than it is here. But I'm inside an air condition, so I'm laughing. I'm laughing. But I do need to go back outside, man. I need to get my tan back. It's not, you know, I need a tan. You just look better with a tan. Anyway, let's jump into this video. I'm rambling now. I'll talk to you guys about my my canal boat crash when I stream. It wasn't that dramatic, but it was... I've never driven or ridden a canal boat before. And it was basically me and my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law had been on them before. So, you know, it's like, oh, we got this. So the two of us were in charge of driving this thing. And let me tell you, it was more stressful, like, having to drive that thing. You know, you're just stressing the entire time. It's one of those things where I feel like if you've been on one before and you've driven a canal boat, I think you need like a day or two to just get used to it. Because left is right, right is left. And it kind of turns, and like the back is what turns it. So the front kind of just... It's weird. But anyway, I'll talk about that on stream another time. Let's watch this video. Inside Star Citizen, Star Kart Racing. I'm excited to see what this is all about. Next week, I'm going to have to catch up. There's so much to do. Obviously, there's the new FPS thing, which I may have missed. I don't know. I don't know where I am in the world right now. I feel like I'm so out of it. Getting back from vacation, you always feel so like... I always feel pumped and energetic and ready to go. But the last two times, both in April when I went to Disney World in Florida... And this time, I've come back sick. So it completely throws you off. Like, not only this time did I have jet lag, but also feeling sick and low. It was just awful, man. Anyway, let's watch this video together. You've probably seen it, but I haven't. And I don't know what this is. It says Star Kart. What's Star Kart Racing?
Racing,
So we did an org event where we're pausing. We're 7 seconds in. I'm going to try not to pause because we've got about 20 minutes worth of videos here. So, or less, 15. But we did this. We did, I did an event. Not an event, but I streamed and we all jumped in and raced around this. Not in a ship. We raced around it in, like, rovers and things. And it was actually quite fun. Quite fun. I enjoyed it very much.
I enjoy because I think deep down everyone enjoys going fast in some aspects.
It's about the overtaking, the racing that singular person. You get to follow them around and then you've got to work out a way to pass them.
Hey, I agree with that, but flying in this game, I feel like I have no control. So being able to follow somebody and then figure out how I'm going to pass them, that's not in my head when I'm racing in a ship, because I'm just trying to stay on track, trying to stay on the course. I wish I was good enough to be able to follow them perfectly and try and decide how to pass them.
You make little adjustments, you go a little bit faster, you push it a little bit harder, a little bit more, to get a little bit more speed. It's a very satisfying loop.
In racing, it's a more controlled PvP environment.
What the hell does that guy have on his head?
Very satisfying loop.
In racing,
what is that? Is that like the head tracker, but not the Tobii eye tracker? That is a piece of kit. That's a serious piece of kit right there.
It's a more controlled PvP environment, which is kind of like going to like pure peak performance of the player.
Racing in Star Citizen, I think there's a very dedicated core community to it, and they're doing an amazing job with...
I am happy, sorry on pause, we're a minute in and I've paused about 5 times. I am happy that they are, I feel like for the longest time they were just pumping out content that they wanted to pump out, right? And I feel like now it seems like they're pumping out content that, after putting all this content out for the last 5 years or whatever, I know it's been more, but let's say the last 5 years, they've kind of seen where the natural growth has gone towards. Us ourselves, MLTC, we did a lot of racing, like ground racing and all that stuff. And a lot of orgs do that, and a lot of people do that. So I feel like they've seen what people do. They've kind of steered towards making content for that, which I appreciate.
What is there, and I hope in the future that we'll be able to provide a lot more support to them.
There are many ways to spend your time in the Star Citizen universe. That ever-expanding sandbox that lets you hunt dangerous criminals, haul cargo from one planet to another, harvest resources from asteroids to caves, and much, much more. But one aspect that's been driven almost entirely by the community is racing. A way to test the mettle of your pedal against other players at any time or place. That's why when a small handful of developers recently found themselves with just a little bit of spare time between tasks, they took inspiration from the community and created 2 new racing experiences for the persistent universe that we'll be showcasing here today. Now up first, let's learn how the Snake Pit Racetrack, originally conceived by the community, had its industrial makeover in the recently released Alpha 3.17.2.
Yeah, we've been here. It is cool. I didn't realize this was already a thing that people used to do. I had no idea.
It's actually inspired by videos from the community. It's this racetrack that's been proven to be fun and successful time and over again. I just figured, why not try and bring it to the next
That's
level.
what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like when people, they've seen what people are doing and they're going to... I talked about this. It must have been like 6 months ago. I had said that, it's kind of like there's games that have come out where the way that the community ended up playing it pushed them to steer in that direction. And it's also, I compared it to like if you go to like there's certain universities where they just have like a big green area of grass. And over the years, you could see the trails where people would walk, and then they ended up literally just paving over, making a path over where people walked. And it's like, it's kind of like that. It's just natural development, natural progression.
Something that's
like
believable, that could tell a story like at a first glance, something that would be fun for the racers and something that would even be fun for any spectator that just wanted to come there, chill, watch the race.
Spectator. That's the exact spectators that would be there, let's be honest. People, I'm sure that place is riddled with snipers and people like this now.
Because I had the idea to make this racetrack, I think it was the same day that we branched to go into EVGA. I had just a limited number of days before this could go to the backers and into the PTU. So everything we did for the racetrack needed to be assets that already existed if we wanted to make the cut for 317.2. The process was a couple of hours of going through assets, putting them on the planet, setting them up, seeing if they feel good.
I did a good job considering how quickly they
a
did
few
this.
landing pads here and there on like specific turns where people could just be there and watch the ships as they drift around those corners.
Is landing pads there? I didn't see that.
The snake pit is way bigger than any racetrack that I would have imagined.
Yeah, I see the landing pads. See my mouse? Yeah, there's one here, there's one here. Looks like there's a couple of them here. Any more? Maybe up here? Maybe these are too? I don't know, but these definitely look like landing pads. I never knew that.
I think most of the game devs that I know usually work on cool little things on their free time, whether it's work related or not. We just do it just to keep up with what's going on in the industry.
That's a cool view.
I've worked on multiple AAA projects in other companies, and this is the only one where you're actually even encouraged a little bit to go out of the beaten path and talk to the community, listen to what they have to say. It's not something that you find anywhere else. So this is definitely for me is an added bonus to my work to just have this interaction with people.
I wish there was like a theater mode, because making videos sometimes it's so difficult, whether it's the day or night time, it just doesn't fit with the schedule when you're trying to record, or whatever it is. I wish you had theater mode where I could literally jump in and do shots like this. Because this obviously would take all day for me. It probably took them 2 seconds. They probably just set it up so the sun went down quick. Sped up time.
Using the time between tasks while waiting for other resources to become available and making fun things inspired by the players has led to a number of features, assets, and otherwise neat stuff making their way to the persistent universe over the years. And it just so happens that one of the next ones is making its way to you in the upcoming Alpha 318, and it features a different kind of racing experience.
When we finished working on Siege of Orison, my lead approached me and told me about those convention halls, that they are most of the time empty in between the events, and maybe we should fill it with something.
Buggy trap racing. Track, not trap. Buggy track racing coming soon at the Vision Center. What the bloody hell is this? Tell me they have like a little go-kart track in here, man. That'll be so fun. What is this picture? Oh, you know what?
Fun for the player. We collected some ideas and decided.
Dude! This is sick! Oh my god, this is so freaking cool. I cannot wait for this. Oh my god, I love like Mario Kart racing. This is gonna be so much fun. I cannot wait. When did they say 318?
To go for a buggy race.
Wait, 318. So they need to do 317.2, 317.3, 317. So this is like next year, right? I'm getting too excited for this. This is sick, though.
When we started, we didn't want to take this go-kart track too serious.
Why?
We wanted to make something colorful and playful. So our main inspirations were obviously a very popular racing game. We took also inspirations from laser tag, those blacklight paintball arenas, stuff like that.
Yeah, man, I love it.
So I had 3 weeks in total to finish the whole racetrack, from the first idea to the final product.
These guys
it was
are so
basically
good.
a one-man project.
It's insane. Imagine the pride you must have by looking at this and being like, I did that. Like, I would love to be able to do something like this. So cool.
I tried to make the racetrack as modular as possible. So I created a few of those racetrack pieces and just put them together in a way that it's fun for me to play it. My favorite part of the racetrack is probably where you have to jump over a ramp.
Hell yeah, it is! As long as... Okay, let's put money on it. How many times when it goes into the PTU, when they do testing, are we going to explode when we land? You know, is it going to be 9 out of 10 times?
We have been testing the racetrack internally, and it's already a lot of fun.
I have to bring out my steering wheel again.
The physics of the Grey Cats is something we are looking into, because we also had a loop-the-loop, but the Grey Cats were not fast enough to take it, so we had to cut it out. But in the future, we hope that we can put it in.
You know what? Why don't they just make a new vehicle? Just make a go-kart. Like, how difficult? Surely it's not that difficult. They could use the Grey Cat like mechanics, right? Just speed it up a bit, change the weight or something so it stays lower to the ground, and just put a new body on it. Make a new vehicle. Make us some go-karts. No one races around in golf carts. They want go-karts. Am I asking for too much? I'm very excited for this.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the staggered nature of video game development can often lead to fun little side projects by developers with big amounts of fun. That the team...
I went to Manchester, well, through Manchester while I was in the UK. Should have popped in here to say hello. It would have just been a construction site, but you know.
Here continues to not just take feedback from the community, but inspiration for their work as well. And that racing is in the hearts of many of our developers, and we're always going to look for more ways to squeeze just a little more in here and there whenever we can. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Behind me is our new, still under construction performance capture studio right next door to the Manchester Goods Yard building, soon to be home to CIG Manchester, and where you can be very certain I'm going to do many silly and stupid things when the time arrives. And to my left is the Rover's Return Inn from
Rover's Return. It's Coronation Street, right?
some UK soap opera that everybody here tells me was a big deal. We'll see you
It is a big deal.
all next week.
Rover's Return, is it gone? I haven't watched Coronation Street in years. Yeah, they're right on like the location they chose. This is a lot of money. I wonder what made them choose this location. They could have got the same building in a different part of Manchester, I'm sure, for a lot cheaper. They're like right. It's like being like, we're gonna build a new office on the Warner Brothers lot. Alright, what's at the end here? It's definitely Mario Kart. I can't imagine this is going to be a thing, though. Oh, is he just skating around it? Oh, is he going to hit him? Dude, I went to a pub or a bar when I was in the UK, and they had, like, games consoles in there. And I played Mario Kart. I raced my sister. It's still a long video. No, I think it's just blank space. The editors were like, you know what, we need to make this video 8 minutes. Let's just have some black space for a minute. Okay, let's jump on to the next one straight away. No, the thing I liked about that video, though, is the go-karting. You know what I mean? I'm so excited for that. 3.18. That's going to be a while, though, huh? Okay, anyway, let's see what this one's all about. Sprint Showdown. Listen, if it's anything, any curveballs like that last one with the go-karting, I'm excited.
Star Citizen is a big game with big ideals, bigger aspirations, and some of the very biggest spaceships. And while there's lots to do in the persistent universe, with more and more things being added to every patch, it's these spaceships that sit at the center of everything. That's why each year the community votes big in our annual Ship Showdown. Your chance to determine the best of the best and award the winners with...
I don't know. You know what? I feel like the Ship Showdown has turned into a meme. Right? Which is a good thing. Because otherwise the same ships are going to win every year. So I don't see why you need to do a Ship Showdown every year. But I feel like now it's become more of like a, you know, a meme. It's like, what was the Argo Cargo, the one last year? I feel like this year it's probably going to be... Maybe not. Maybe it's the Argo personal one. Or maybe, what ship I think is the best meme for this? Probably... Honestly, I have not a clue. The Argo Cargo is the perfect ship for a meme.
New and exclusive paints. And since this year's event starts up on Monday in like 4 days, we've got a special all-vehicle sprint report for you this week. A sprint showdown, if you would. And we're going to start with a big look at the upcoming Drake Corsair, seen over the course of 2 consecutive sprints.
Okay.
As the ship moves through gray box phase, you can see the exterior detail beginning to take shape.
What's that fella doing standing up there?
Primarily on the nacelle and connecting areas of the starboard side of this asymmetrical vehicle to build them out so they feel properly big and chunky and structurally and functionally sound, as is the Drake way. Now, the lighter gray areas are the original concept mesh, which serves
Looks
as
more
a
like an RSI
guide
to
to
me.
artists to maintain the original
Looks
scale
like a
and
freelancer.
shape whenever possible.
Misk.
The Drake visual style is often about layering, with the interior
sure when it's
structure
painted, it'll
poking
look
out from
different.
beneath the more clad exterior, and as Greybox continues, it'll get closer and closer to the detailed mesh of the concept while maintaining the performance and optimization standards developed since it was first envisioned. Now, not every part of a ship moves through the pipeline at the same pace, as you can see here with the remote turret jumping from concept mesh straight ahead to final art, since it's a relatively small, self-contained, and not needing the same level of iteration part as the rest of the ship. And we also have this look at working out the landing gear, a hallmark of any gray box phase, making certain it's both stylish enough to maintain the manufacturer look, while functional enough so that the physics system won't topple the entire ship over. Unless the wind kicks up, or Burks lands it. Savage. And on the inside, this sprint also featured work on the crew quarters with a mix of gray box and final artwork coming along quite quickly that's been enabled by efforts of team members from previous Drake ships.
Who's excited for this ship? Raise your hands. I'm gonna be completely transparent. I have not a clue what this ship is for. I haven't looked into this ship. I'm sorry.
And then 2 weeks later, after the conclusion of another sprint, you can see more additions made like the loading
It's just
ramp.
it's a freelance. I'm not listening to anyone. This is a freelancer. It looks on the outside it looked like a freelancer, other than the way that the inside looks like a Drake, just with the cargo holds and stuff like that. But it's a freelancer. It's a freelancer.
Of several pieces that fold down and extend out to allow access through the rear of the ship. And yes, it's big enough for an Ursa and other similarly sized ground vehicles.
Like a freelancer Max.
Let's move up the ramp into the cargo hold, where the process
Freelancer Max.
of gray box is being tweaked to include material assignments, adding a bit of color to the otherwise gradient-only
It's a better Freelancer Max. I'll give it that.
phase, and allowing artists to better see and gauge shape breakout without having to dip into final art early, as can sometimes happen. Here's another look at the landing gear 2 weeks on
It's a
with
big
improved animation
Freelancer
and detail.
How's he going?
And perhaps most excitingly, this sprint was where the
Okay, I remember the ship now. It's sick. I love the look of the ship. Now I remember.
wings were attached to the finished nacelles, necessitating 2 separate attachment and transformation systems for each side due to the asymmetrical nature of the ship, which you can see here with these little doors that open to allow folding up and then close down flat when extended for maximum aerodynamics. You may also notice the thruster flaps are being made to extend and contract to adjust the amount of force being exerted.
Love that.
Gotta love that Drake functionality. So feedback during this sprint was to push for a greater diversity between the attached sensor rods from the concept and the mounted weapons on the wings, with additional considerations regarding the front-loading hangars on planets and stations and the potential adjustments that may need to be made to the wings And, well, we're just gonna have to see how those things.
You can hear that guy working in the background, Bazzy. I remember saying, like a month or two ago, I was talking about when he's doing these Inside Star Citizen videos, and I'm like, props to him, I could never do it. I'd be so embarrassed recording something like this with just workers around me. Because I'd be thinking to myself, they're probably like, what is this guy talking about? What does he do? And then the Bazzy, you pointed out, he thought it was a green screen. And I'm like, I don't think it's green screen, because usually on green screens, like the fine hairs like this, you can see like the bit of green. But you can literally, in the background, if you're wearing a headset, you can hear him moving his little stool around. He's in there with him. He's in there with him.
Progress over the next few sprints. And while we're on the multi-sprint look at spaceships,
Is that a Freelancer Max?
let's check in with a little tugboat that could, the Argo SRV, which entered Greybox phase with one artist on the exterior and one on the interior, and those eagle-eyed viewers may notice that the ship has grown just a little bit in the cockpit area to allow for the enter-exit animations from the pilot seat. And while we're in here, let's take a look at the early Greybox phase of the inside. Yeah, you can see here that staff are taking craft from the raft, especially in the aft, because we're not daft.
Yeah.
I should stop this graft before I get the shaft, because no one laughed.
I laughed, Jared. I
And then
laughed.
2 sprints later, we can see the SRV much farther along in Greybox phase, getting all the main shapes in, beginning the discovery of material breakup, and really
I love the
just
orange ships. I love
refining
that
the
industrial
entire
look.
model overall. Yeah, you could say it's enough to make one shaft. I'm sorry, I have a problem. To make up for that, here are some follow-up images of the Banu Merchantman from the same time as our Alien Week segment back in June. Mostly to showcase how important having the right FOV on
I like it.
your camera is in avoiding duckbill platypus face. Same ship, correct FOV. Sorry, Ben. And moving from
Is that
ship
it?
to ship feature news, you can see here the first iteration of the vehicle salvage HUD for the upcoming Vulture, Reclaimer, and more. Now on the left are all the details that are target relevant. The remaining surface area, your remaining cargo space, and extraction rate. And on the right, things like type of nozzle, cutter, and tractor, the various attributes you'll need to manage, and present range.
Nice.
And then you can see their first, still early implementation in engine, as seen here on the Vulture, and then on the turret from a Reclaimer.
Interesting.
Now, for how all this works, what the final implementation
Seems
looks
like so-
with
it seems
full
so difficult.
UI and VFX, and what
I don't
the
mean difficult on our end, I mean on their end. Creating something like this must be so, like, painstakingly painful. Like, just, yeah.
internal functionality that ends with a nice crate of materials that you can sell or trade. Well, there's still some time between now and the release of Alpha 3.18, so you can expect to see more as we get closer to release. And as a neat bonus, work on the gimbal system for hull scraping has led to new technology that may eventually change the way all gimbals work. What you're seeing here is variable drag and speed based on size and weight, both for the gimbal itself and the item attached to it. What this ultimately means is more customization for players, allowing for faster, smoother gimbals with smaller, lighter items and weapons, and a potential removal of the size restriction for weapons on gimbals, letting players one day use them with weapons of a hardpoint's maximum size, with the requisite trade-off in drag and speed. It's a great example of work for one system potentially leading to improvements in another.
I want to have like a caterpillar with like size 11s on it.
And then, in preparation of one of the biggest Life in the Verse changes coming sometime next year, the Hammerhead just had a sprint retrofitting it with internal power relays, a necessary component of the resource management system that is at the center of everything from engineering gameplay, life support, increased time to kill, on-site repair, and the foundational basis for true multi-crew gameplay. Now, there's still quite a journey ahead for resource management, but it's exciting to see the work beginning to get integrated into the persistent universe proper. Now, of course, those are just the updates on the ships that we can currently tell you about ahead of CitizenCon and IAE on this special Showdown Sprint Report. But maybe you're asking yourself, hey, Jared, Ship Showdown 2952 doesn't start for another 4 days. Surely you've got something more than spaceships to show us. Well, it's still a little bit early, but I suppose we can tease this look at recent tests of the UI card system, a brand new way to take building blocks and display it dynamically and diegetically throughout the persistent universe in Squadron 42. Just don't tell anyone.
What am I looking at here? A lot of detailed things. Pretty cool though.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the Corsair, asymmetrical explorer from Drake, is making pretty solid progress through the ship pipeline. That ongoing work on salvage and hull scraping may yet lead to positive changes for the combat experience through gimbal improvements. That work is already underway retrofitting some of our ships for the enormous change resource management will bring later next year. That FOV is super important if you don't want 36 duck memes of the Banu Merchantman. And that Ship Showdown 2952 begins this Monday, and it's your chance to decide the best of the best over the following month. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee, here inside the performance capture stage where characters from Star Citizen and Squadron 42 will be brought to life by tremendous performers as time goes on. We'll see you all here next week.
Got more for me, I can see it.
Let me do a couple gestures. Like,
hold on a second.
Let me do a couple gestures. Like,
for watching. Some good Inside Star Citizens, man. There's lots to look forward to in 3.18. But there's a lot for me to look forward to in 3.17.2. I need to jump in this week. So we should be back to the regular scheduled programming next week, ladies and gentlemen. This weekend, I have so much stuff to catch up on. So I'm not going to be streaming or recording. Like I said, getting back, being just jet lagged and then sick. I literally have done nothing. I played some SimCity. I was like, what can I do that's just nothingness? SimCity. I haven't done anything. I haven't even unpacked. That's how bad it's been. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I know it's just me watching a Star Citizen video. It's not like that entertaining, but I wanted to catch up and see where I'm at. See where Star Citizen's at. And just say hello, I'm back, I'm alive, I'm well now. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. And we'll stream and we'll talk about my canal boat crash and stuff. Hopefully you guys have had a fantastic couple weeks. I've seen you guys playing the game. I've seen in Gilded you guys playing. And yeah, I'm excited to jump in as well. So anyway, have a fantastic weekend. And I'll see you on Monday with a brand new video. What was that? Peace. Who does that? Goodbye.